So just relax the front surface of the body and resting on the bed. Feeling the skin on your feet and front of the shins, knees, thighs, hips, tummy, chest, arms and face. Just start from just tasting the texture of the surface. It might be on the faces on your hand, and that is different from your shins on the bed. All sorts of different texture, temperatures, softness, hardness, roughness, smoothness. And feel your body just resting and sinking into the bed. You don't need to hold your body, just letting go. Just notice your breath. And notice how the breath fills your stomach. And how does the stomach feel like? Is it soft or hard? Free, restricted. Let's see if you can be with it without changing it. Moving down to the hips. Focusing on flesh today, just feel into the tissue in your tummy and hips. And every single fiber of the tissue breathes. So expanding and contracting and fluid moving through the tissue. So you can just look at those tissue and fluid moving through. looking at all these activities and the liveliness in the tissue. Shift the focus down on your thighs. Just checking that quality of the tissue, if it's hard or soft, free or restricted. And you can just look at those tissue on your thighs without changing, but they might change. So you're just observing. So how much you can allow space for this tissue to express themselves. Just like embracing the space for the tissues. And let all the activities happen. Shifting the focus to the knees. The different kind of tissues, lots of ligaments in your knees. So one big tendon coming from your thighs and around the knees, inside of the knees, all this tissue, tendons, their tissue as well. So again, just holding a space for these tissue to express themselves. Always some fluids coming in and the tissue breathing. Moving down on your shins and the calves. The muscles of the calves and soft tissue between two bones. They are all breathing. And the fluid comes in and out. All the cells are based in the fluid. Moving down to the ankles. Again, similar to the knees, it's lots of tendons around. And just let the tendons breathe. So they can be responsive to all sorts of movements you might have when you walk. Moving down to the feet. Again, lots of tendons, also small muscles on your feet and underneath on the soles of the feet. So keep the space for them to breathe, and let the fluids come through, and every single cell breathing based in fluids. We just want to keep the responsiveness for the tissue. In case you start moving. And heels and Achilles. And having the view a little bit bigger, so from the feet, Achilles, calves, lower legs. Just holding the space, and maybe just listening to the chattering of the tissue and fluid, all these activities happening constantly. And including your knees, also the back of the knees. Including your thighs and back of the thighs. Just listening to this chattering so they can communicate with each other. So every single tissue, every single cells, they're doing their own activity but also communicating with others. And we are just embracing that aliveness and listening. Now including your hips. And then the buttocks. And lower stomach. Just leaving this communication between the tissue and the cell for now. And now let's put the focus on the sacrum, the middle part of the back of the pelvis, base of the spine. And again, just feeling into it and then listen to the quality. How does it feel like? Is it holding or free, fluid, or dry? And see if there is any resource for the whole spine and the whole body, because that's the sacrum is where you hold all this energy, life force. You might have lots of energy stored in the sacrum today, or you might have a little energy stored in the sacrum. It's okay. Just checking in. Now looking at the sacrum and also the spine. So the lower back, middle back, upper back, neck, and connecting to the head. So through the spine, the spinal canal, the energy can go up from your sacrum. And just supplying the energy from the spine to the peripheral, towards your torso, towards your arms and legs, through all these nerves coming up from the spine. So see how much you can feel that charge coming from the sacrum to the spine and coming out from the spine, all the parts of the body. Just checking if there's any part that is charged too much or not charged. Without changing, just holding the space for that part, so you can just look from outside. So again, looking at tissues and cells. So the energy is sent from the sacrum to the spine and to the legs and the arms, and every single part of the body, and also the nerves. It's made from cells, because every single cell is bathed with fluid. Fluid always comes in and goes out, and cleaning the cells, taking away all the unnecessary dirt, bringing the nutrition in, and bringing the oxygen in as well. So always nourishing the cells. The whole legs, sacrum, the spine, and the whole torso, the rib cage, chest, and then also shoulders and arms, and the head. Just feeling into this fluid that is bathing cells and tissues, and let the fluid move around in the body, and let the fluid go through the body. So we do have shape of the body. We do have bones and all the organs, and they do have shape, but it's not fixed shape. It can be changed according to how the fluid goes through. So just give a permission for the fluid to move all these structures, tissue and cell, so they can do the best job to nurture your cells and tissues, and also cleaning them. So now just coming down to your left leg. So now we're going to look at the left leg, pelvis, stomach. That's main kind of part. But just see if you can really allow the fluid to move your body. And if you start moving, that would be great. So there's no sort of set movement as we normally do. And it can be small movement, it can be big movement, but just allow the fluid to move your body. So maybe the fluid can move around even more with this movement. There's no pressure to move either. Sometimes it's good to give a space and just wait for the impulse from the fluid to move the body. It's just helping the fluid to go around everywhere. If you feel adventurous enough, you can try different angles, maybe some rotation, some movement in the joints, different joint. The most important thing is that you feel good. If you feel good with some movement, you can just repeat that as long as you get satisfied. And sometimes you might feel, oh, I shouldn't have gone there, then just go back. Just keep going, it looks really nice, and feel the connection to your lower abdominal and maybe upper part of the body. And if your right leg wants to join or want to respond, that is more than welcome. Notice how the movement affects your spine. The spine coming up from the sacrum, then connecting to the head. And pay attention to your breath as well. Okay, and just coming back to stillness. Just listening to the whole body, all the tissues and cells, and noticing the difference from the beginning of this session and now. And just again hold a big space for the whole body and all the tissues and cells and the fluid going through them. Just holding the space for them. You're looking at this big balloon like something which is body. Okay. Then when you feel ready, you can start coming up or change the positions.